His birth certificate named him Edson Arantes do Nascimento. But by the time he was a teenager, everyone knew him by the sobriquet bestowed by his friends. The whole world would come to know this little footballing genius as Pelé. He was already a star at 15 when his parents allowed him to trial at Santos, the giant Brazilian league club. His coach from his hometown Bauru, a small city in Brazil's south, told Santos he was delivering something special. The greatest football player in the world. At just 17, Pelé was selected as a forward for Brazil to compete in his first World Cup in 1958, and his legend was born. He played with no fear. He played the beautiful game that would soon come to symbolize the Brazilian style, with its flair, its skill, and its aesthetic beauty. Virtually unknown to that point, at least on the world stage, he exploded with 3 goals against France in the semi-final, then put the ball in the net twice in the final against the host nation Sweden as Brazil dominated 5-2. Pelé's moments were to lift the ball over a defender and score with a beautiful strike in the 55th minute, then put the exclamation point on the win with a headed goal in the 90th minute. Brazil as a nation had been in a kind of mourning for 8 years, since losing the final to Uruguay at home at the Maracanã in 1950. Now, they sought and achieved redemption for their country, Brazil's first World Cup triumph, led by the audacious talent of Pelé.
They didn't know Brazil. Then, after this World Cup, Brazil became well-known all over the world. I think this was one very important moment for me because I make my country be well-known to the world. I think this was the important moment in my life.
Pelé was already an immortal, although he was just a teen, establishing records that still stand today. At 17, he was the youngest player to play a World Cup final, the youngest scorer in a World Cup final, and the youngest player to win a World Cup winner's medal. He stood alongside the giants of the game in Brazil, like Garrincha, the dribbling master, who would steer his country to a second consecutive World Cup win in 1962, as Pelé lay idle and injured for the final. At the 1966 tournament in England, he was brutalized in tackles as his name and reputation preceded him, and Brazil suffered a humiliating exit after the group stage. But Brazil's 1970 World Cup team in Mexico would go down as arguably the greatest team in the history of football, winning the final against Italy 4-1, Pelé offering up the opening goal and securing the golden ball as player of the tournament. If 1958 was his arrival as the new superstar, 1970 was his crowning as the king. In the history of the World Cup, no other player before or since has won 3 World Cup medals, the most coveted in the game. Pelé played in 4 World Cups, scoring 12 goals, and the Latin nation has now won 5 World Cup tournaments, more than any other country. It still plays the beautiful game. This is the legacy of Pelé. Still to come on The Immortals, the age-old argument, is Pelé the greatest of all? It's the unsolvable debate. Who is the greatest footballer of all time? By a broad general consensus, it is Pelé, Brazil's masterful number 10. But ultimately, this is a matter of opinion. Many Brazilians argue that their own Garrincha holds the mantle. Real Madrid folk will say that Alfredo Di Stefano, the giant of the 1950s, was better. Or the Dutch might vote for Johan Cruyff, while Argentine Diego Maradona has many supporters. Then there are the modern-day superheroes. Lionel Messi of Argentina, Cristiano Ronaldo of Portugal. Vastly decorated men who deserve to go into the annals of the sport. FIFA itself named its Player of the Century in 2000, and Pelé won easily in a vote of a grand jury and FIFA magazine readers, with 72.8% of the first votes, ahead of Di Stefano at 10% and Maradona at 6%. In a separate online poll of the public that only served to confuse the case and skew the results toward more recent players, Maradona won with 53% of first votes, ahead of Pelé's 18%, and FIFA ended up handing out 2 awards to calm the waters. The International Federation of Football History and Statistics named Pelé Football Player of the Century, and he was named at the Golden Foot Awards in Monte Carlo in 2012 as the best ever. Germany's legendary Franz Beckenbauer thought it nonsense to have the debate at all. There's no one to compare with Pelé. Zico, a Brazilian legend himself and a teammate, also weighed in. There's only one possible answer: Pelé. He's the greatest player of all time, and by some distance, I might add. The man himself loved the modern players, just as they revered him.
The style of Messi is completely different than the style of Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, now we have Neymar. We have a lot of different players, but if you ask today, I think Messi, to me, is the one more complete.
These are questions without definitive answers, and ultimately, it was Pelé himself who put it all in context.
I think the secret to success is to respect people, to be prepared always, and then never think you are the best.
Over time, Edson Arantes, the footballer, morphed into Pelé, the global superstar, and became one of the first big sporting brands. Pelé met Ronald Reagan, the US president. Time magazine named him among the 100 most influential people of the 20th century, along with Gandhi and Einstein, the Beatles, and Nelson Mandela. It was Mandela, Pelé's hero, who presented him with a Laureus Lifetime Achievement Award in 2000. To watch him play was to watch the delight of a child combined with the extraordinary grace of a man in full. In the mid-1970s, Pelé spent the second phase of his career playing with the New York Cosmos, helping popularize football in the United States for the first time. He had been coaxed out of retirement in Brazil by a $1.4 million a season contract. Huge money for a sportsman in the 1970s.
I think what Cosmo did in the beginning, what we promote the soccer in the United States, and then go through the world. I mentioned about sometime I got very upset because I played 25 years with Santos. We won the World Cup. I scored a lot of goals, more than 1,000 goals. And every place where I arrived, the people say, Pelé, what happened with the Cosmos? I see, the magic, unbelievable.
The Cosmos changed the sporting landscape in the US, luring Beckenbauer and other superstars from Europe. For the first time, soccer, as it is known in the US, was a major player as the crowds came to Yankee Stadium. But Pelé was approaching retirement. His last playing appearance in 1977 in New Jersey, appropriately an exhibition game between Santos and the Cosmos. Married 3 times and father of 6 children, he moved into the football afterlife, but never lost his celebrity. In Santos, where he played 19 seasons and won 6 Brazilian league titles, they opened a museum in his name. Including friendlies, he scored over 1,000 goals for his original club. Pelé's 1,000th goal in all football, scored from a penalty while playing for Santos against Vasco da Gama at the Maracanã in November 1969, became a moment of great symbolism in Brazilian football. He chose not to coach beyond his playing career, a fact he related to Jose Mourinho, the Manchester United manager, with a sense of irony.
I was talking with him personally once, no? It was 2 years ago, last year. He said, Pelé, you don't want to be coach. I told him, Marinho, I am not crazy. You are crazy. But he is a lock and an excellent coach.
A religious man, he traveled the world spreading the word of his God and promoting the sport as its most famous ambassador, selling his memorabilia and giving most of the money to a hospital. His legacy is 1,281 goals in 1,363 games, the most goals by any player according to the Guinness Book of Records, for it was finishing that was his trademark. FIFA's official records show that he scored 5 goals in a game 6 times, 4 goals 30 times, 92 hat-tricks, and that once for Santos in 1964, he scored 8. His 3 World Cup medals are a record, but most of all, he won the reverence, love, and admiration of the world for his skill and grace. Named after Edison, inventor of the electric light globe, Pelé came to illuminate the world of sport like scarcely anyone has before or since.
It's a great honour and a great privilege, really, to be standing here and being asked to present an award to Pelé, because the word legend is used very often these days, but in fact, I think there are really very few legends in the world of football, and the greatest legend of all is sitting with us tonight, and I think he's shown that on 1,000 occasions.